Today we're going to cover how to become famous on social media. I'm going to show you a technique and a tool that almost nobody knows about, that I have special access with the founder, just like I showed you with conversion.ai, which is now called jarvis.ai. And I'm going to show you how we actually do things, because we always teach by example. You might see that on social media, on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, there's some people who seem to have a lot of accounts. They see a lot of followers, a lot of engagement. And you might wonder, well, gee, I wonder if I can be like that. Or do I have to be an influencer for my business, right? I'm a San Diego chiropractor like Dr. V, and I just want to reach more people who are well-to-do and want to get a better golf swing. Or I'm a real estate agent and I want to help people sell more homes, but I'm not trying to become Tom Ferry. I'm not trying to become Gary Vaynerchuk. How do I get noticed better? So let's take a look. I'm on my Twitter, but the same thing works on LinkedIn and Facebook. So it's primarily LinkedIn and Facebook and Twitter. And right now we're in my Twitter, we're looking at my notifications, and you can see that somebody has mentioned me 47 minutes ago, Jason Portnoy. I was on his podcast, Future Proof Your Paid Ads with Dennis Yu. All right, that's pretty cool. I'm probably going to reshare that one. That looks pretty cool. And if you want to see what this is, it actually is a real episode of he and I talking about.
Do these jeans make my butt look fat? It's not the jeans. It's your butt that makes your butt look fat.
We've been spoiled over the last few years of being able to get.
Well, I guess he chose that as did. All right, I mean, that's a hook. Let's start with the hook. All right, now what's he going to say? Hopefully not about jeans and butts looking fat. All right, here's someone replying to my stuff. Here's someone else replying. And let's see what else. Oh, look, here's another one from Social News. 312 followers. Oh, it's followed by John Lee Dumas. That's cool. And Tony. Hosted by Brian Eisenberg via me. So what's it like traveling 4.5 million miles? Well, it's over 5 million miles now, because this podcast was Business Travel Hacks. I want to say it was like 2 years ago. So I'll click like on that and probably give that a share too. And let's take a look at this article. Oh, it's on a site that's not secure. He needs to fix that. And here it is, September 13th, 2018. Brian interviews me, episode 15. And I talk all about my favorite tips when I travel, because some people would say, oh, aren't you like George Clooney, Up in the Air, that movie? And I'll say, no, George Clooney's like me. I actually have traveled that much. He's just an actor. You can see there's a podcast here.
Build in extra time when you fly somewhere else to enjoy the scenes, to meet people that you otherwise would not have known were there. Always build in buffer time. And something random might happen. You might need the extra time. You want to go see someplace, do something. Your car breaks down. My car broke down in Costa Rica one time. And, you know, they had to.
Okay, so there's a bunch of stories we can pull out of here, and there's good things here. So I definitely want other people to see this podcast episode, because it's with Brian Eisenberg, who's the #1 conversion optimization expert on the planet. 7 New York Times bestseller books, one of the top names in the world of digital marketing, huge audience, right? And even though we're talking about travel, that has nothing to do directly with digital marketing, but it shows I have authority. And then his audience, the people that he coaches, like Google and Salesforce and billion-dollar companies that want to improve their sales and conversion funnels, they see that Brian's with me. So this is a great authority trust builder. So you want more of these sorts of things so that it creates these warm connections so people know who you are. And you'll see that there's more of these. And by the way, it doesn't have to be, don't think that just because I'm showing my example that it won't apply to you. You don't have to have 70,000 followers on Twitter or a blue check mark or anything like that. So let's see if there's some more of these things. Let's see, people are tweeting me when their Facebook account gets banned, when they have a question. Okay, fair enough. Oh, look, Tom Ferry yesterday asked a question. Somebody asked a question. He says, hey, I'm looping in Jason and Dennis to ask what they think. All right, that's cool. Let's see some other ones. People are engaging on my stuff. That's not a surprise, but there's something here that you might not notice. And I want to see if I can find a couple examples to see if you can figure out what that is. This guy's replying to me. This guy's actually trying to surf my post by redirecting people to another topic on his thing. I don't like when people do that. Let's see. This one looks pretty good. Better, faster content creation using AI. So I'm demonstrating how to use the AI tool, and she's absolutely thrilled by that. Look, there's Jamie Masters of Eventual Millionaire.
Little piece, and then they can't, because when you have this many different modalities, like one person knowing all of the things and having it actually.
That's pretty cool. So I'll click like on that. And I want people like her to share our content, because her audience is authors, speakers, coaches, podcasters that want to get more exposure. So they want to do $1 a day. They should buy the course. They should learn how to do 1-minute videos, which is chopping up their podcast. There's Gary Henderson. This is all just in the last day or so. When you find out Dennis Yu is following you and you're not following him back. All right, that's cool. Now, what is it about these retweets are when people are sharing. I'm going to show you something that you may not have seen. Do you know Buffer? You guys heard of Buffer? Buffer is a social sharing site. So people come in and they can hook up their social media accounts and they can sign up for different topics that they care about. So maybe they care about Christianity or entrepreneurship or being underprivileged or whatever. And from these accounts, I can share other people. I can share this with other people. You know, I can have a whole team of people to be able to post as Barry Habib or Blitz or me or whatever. And I can also look at different topics and then share it here just because they want to make it easier for content curation. And there's a calendar and all this. So most people, when they use Buffer, they are using Buffer for publishing. They don't really care about the analytics as much. And let me show you something. Let's see if I can close some of these things out. I got so many of these SEO tools here that are in the way.
That's how I'm familiar with it for publishing.
Yeah, it's mostly for publishing, but there are these cues and recommendations where, let's say that you want to, whatever your topic is, like the Bible, right? And you're going through Job right now because you're having a difficult time, then you'll find all the other people that are talking about Job, and then Buffer will suggest this recommendation cues. Oh, it's a different kind of buffer. It thinks it's a freaking other computer buffer, not a switch buffer. But anyway, inside this tool, you can do that. And one of my friends, Daniel, has created a tool that's called Q Promote that hooks into Buffer and allows us to, I was thinking this should be illegal or this shouldn't be allowed or this is going to get shut down because it's just too good to be true. But we get our content into this tool and it gets tons and tons of shares. So let me show you how this works. So I submit these articles into the Buffer queue, and I've got hundreds of them because I've been doing this for the last, who knows, 5 years. I haven't shown anyone publicly, by the way. You guys are the first ones to see this. This is the secret behind my Twitter engagement, and it's totally legit. So look, you can see that some of these here, there's a tweet and it links to an article because I'm always trying to drive people to an article. And you can see there's the URL for this particular one, and it's driving people here. Just a simple blog post on why you should value your time, and you have control. Don't let other people determine your priorities. And it's got 74 clicks and 699, or sorry, 74 shares and 699 clicks. And some of them may do a lot better. This one got fewer shares. Or was it fewer? Or was it more? But it had 1,500 clicks. And some of them, they have better pictures on them. I think these had no pictures. That's terrible. Let's see ones that are doing well. 615 shares. Do you like shares more or do you like clicks more? What would you prefer? Shares are cool because people see that in social.
Yeah.
And shares across LinkedIn and Facebook and Twitter. Or clicks. Clicks are great too because people come to your website. I mean, don't you want people to come to your website? The retargeting is not as good with the cookies anymore because of iOS 14 and all, but still good. I still want people to come to the website. And this got 500 shares, whatever. And you can see that it's out of 311 days, it's about halfway through. So this thing will probably get double, right? And some of these things I submitted, they got rejected. So I got to edit it because the blog post is too short or I didn't meet their requirements somehow. And every once in a while, you'll get one of these ones. You can see I've got 500 here. One of these will just take off and it'll go to like 20,000 shares because that's kind of the nature of what it is. Like most of these, you get a few hundred. This one, 2,000 clicks. That's 2,000 clicks to a website. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So let's see what else. Let's see if I can find one that's doing really well. And I'm going to explain in a little bit how this works and what the ROI is. And
oh, good. I was just going to ask. Thank you.
Yeah. But right now, I just want to show you the strategy behind this, right? So here's one for Brennan, and I submitted this article on money.cnn. Just a good article. Brennan, our stock guy. So here it is. And I put the title, high schooler sells $1 million in stocks. Let's see here. This is a great article. It's from 2017 though, when he was 17, I guess. What is he now? 21. And he's making $1 million a month. That's pretty awesome. He didn't want anyone to know that. So you can see, right? This is a great piece of content. I guess there's an ad here. Is there? Maybe past the ad. We'll let the ad, you know what? Yeah, we'll mute it. We'll let the ad run. And you can see this is a great article. Now let's say that Brennan is wanting to expand his sock business. So he would like more consumers to see that he has this business and he's investing and he's an entrepreneur and he's got moms that he's employing and hiring VAs using our process, running Facebook ads using our process. And now look, here's the whole thing. Sock fashion, here it is, right? Let's see, there's his thing.
shoes, gentlemen, don't even try it. According to our expert, socks should be picked out as methodically.
Well, that's not the one, is it? Well, anyway, this is a great piece of PR, but it was 4 years ago. So most people are likely not going to see it, even though it was CNN, even though it has a domain rank of 93 on this one and all this. And let's say maybe that he wants to do partnerships. Maybe he wants to do stuff with the NBA, so all the NBA players can start having personalized socks, or maybe whatever it is. But how would he do that? How would he get the people, let's say the CMO at the NBA, what's her name? Oh, is it this guy? No, Chief People or Stewart. Chief Marketing Officer was this guy, National. Kate. Okay. Let's say that he wanted to do a deal with Kate. Here she is. I should connect. 13 mutuals. I should probably add a note, but I'm just going to do it anyway. And I want to make it look organic because I don't want to just hit her up cold and write cold email like Alex Berman would do. But I'd like people in the NBA to see this, or name whatever group of people you want to notice you. If there's someone you want to notice you, who is that? Think of that in your mind as I'm going through this example. Insert your example into this. I want this person to notice me, or whoever it is, but they're really famous, or they're hard to get to, or we don't have a great connection, or whatever it is, but I want them to see that. How can I get them to see that? Well, I could target $1 ads on Facebook on people who work at the NBA. I could use LinkedIn ads and target people who are at the NBA, which is $20 a day or $10 a day. The minimums are different. I could retweet things that she has. So I could look at her and say, okay, let's look at her on Twitter. I could creep on her slowly so she doesn't know that that's what I'm trying to do. And let's see, am I following her? Okay, so she's a CMO at the NBA. That's cool, at NBA. And we can see, so I like that, but there's 275 other people there. So she might not see that. And then she just joined 2 years ago. So that's cool. That's her pin tweet, of course. Then we can look at some of these other things. Oh, she's on Clubhouse. Okay, well, that's cool. What else? These other people. So some of these, oh, look, she made a tweet. Nothing's more important than mental health. Checking on your friends and family. Yep. And I'm the only one, so she's going to notice this. And I'll say, amen. Mental health is something we neglect to talk about. Okay. Let's just say I was Brennan doing this. Okay. And then, I'm not going to say, hey, you should do a deal with Hoop Swag. We should do some socks for all your people. And we should do it for NBA Cares and the charity programs and, give out socks with their faces on it because they'll help these kids that are disabled or, the cancer trips, the Make-A-Wish. Like, here's all these things we could do. But instead of doing that, I just want her to see my content. Or I want whoever it is to see my content, right? Well, what I have to do is take something like this high schooler makes millions of dollars selling custom socks. And I need a piece of content. It could be a blog post. Ideally, it's something that is the highest authority thing you have. So in this case, being on CNN, that's pretty good. But it could be a blog post, a guest blog post that you write on our site. And then by using this tool, I can add whoever it is that I want. Either it's their article, my article, or that person I want them to see in here, and it's going to look completely organic. It's going to look completely organic. So here's the thing. And I'm going to add this and I'm going to say, yeah, I want to promote this and someone else owns the article. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do this. Rather than take this old one, I'm going to do a new one. All right. So let's take so Annika Brown just wrote an article and I think it was on the Blitzmetrics site or was it mine? I forgot which blog she wrote it on. I think she put it on the Dennis U blog. Yeah, here it is. So she put it on my blog and on Conquering Cancer. Here's the post. And she's 11 years clear of stage 4 pancreatic cancer. That's incredible. And here is the whole story about what happened and how she is now. And she's got 2 kids and it's amazing. And I want to go to that post itself. So here's the post. And I want more people to see this, right?
Right.
So who do I want to see this? People with cancer, people who are dealing with, well, especially if they're dealing with, or maybe they're in Las Vegas and they can stop by Cocoon Las Vegas because she owns that facility. But let's see, I'm going to come in here and use that post and I'll say, I don't want this title. It's a blog post and I'm going to choose a category. Let's see, what's the category? There's a lot of categories here. There's a lot of marketing and entrepreneurship and personal branding kinds of sites. It's probably like a health one. It is important to choose the right category. Oh, look, cannabis, CBD, that's a difficult category on the paid side. So this is actually a great angle to hit things that you otherwise couldn't hit in these touchy sorts of categories. There's a lot of businessy kinds of things you can see here. I think there's a health one. Okay, health and fitness. Which one's the best one? Men's health, women's health.
Women's health?
Oh, yeah, women's health. I think it's a good one. Okay.
Maybe holistic health too. I don't know.
Yeah, that too.
Well, I can only choose one, and I could later
Okay.
change it to another one.
Okay.
But that's pretty cool.
Women's health is a good option, I think.
Yeah, it is, and we can look at how different posts have worked there and which ones are the best ones. So I want to have this in Discover, which goes into Buffer, and it's my article. I wrote it. And because I have a special deal, I don't have to pay the initial amount, nor do I have to pay the extra $20. So I'm just going to submit and pay nothing because I'm friends with Daniel who created it. And there it is. Now it's in the review stage here. There's
And
30.
you're friends with a lot of people.
Sorry, go ahead. Ask your question again.
I was just commenting that you actually have a lot of friends, and that's a really good thing.
I have a lot of real friends, not Facebook
Yeah,
friends.
because most of the time you're like, oh yeah, I'm friends with the owner, I'm friends with this, I don't have to pay, and I'm like, wow, like that's amazing, man.
Yeah, and your success is simply just being around good people. It's just as simple as that. But the price of admission to have really good people is you have to be a good person yourself, because good people don't want to be around bad people. Okay? So that's why you want it.
Do that.
The reason why you want to work really hard and become knowledgeable and do good things is not because you want to build your personal brand, but because that is your entry ticket to show other people who you are. It's your reputation, right? It's your integrity. All right, so you can see on this site here, I've got a lot of sites. Look, see all these sites I got? Look at these sites. Oh, and one of the sites is LinkedIn too. LinkedIn's actually one of these sites which can count as our site. Why? Because we can publish articles on LinkedIn, not LinkedIn posts, LinkedIn articles. So we have 9 of them on my site that are active. Let's take a look. And some of these are, this is my friend David, who is talking about GMB. And there's other friends of ours, including friends here in our group and office hours, that are sharing their thoughts. Oh, why do you need a mentor? These, actually, most of these don't even have pictures. We need to go edit these, but they're still doing okay. And when you tag other people in these posts, or when these get shared out through other folks, this does not look like advertising. So here's something you've never seen before. What we're doing here with this tool is some of the shares I just showed you going through Twitter here came from this Q promote. Let's see if we can spot them, and I'll show you where. Here, this one again. Oh, look, Dennis Yu on traveling 4.5 million miles. Now it's being shared from this guy. Who's this? Hobby Craze. You might think, well, maybe the way this thing's generating all these shares and clicks, I don't believe it. How are these thousands of clicks and shares and it's not done through ads? There must be some trick. It must be like fake accounts or something, right? Well, let's see. Is this one fake? Hobby Craze. Who's this? Does this look real? Let's go look at them. It's small, but it looks okay. It doesn't look like some fake Pakistani, Chinese bank of cell phones kind of thing. Oh, and look, this one here, how to build a Boulder retaining wall. And look, it's got a buffer link. So what do you think that is? This buffer shortener link. This is probably coming through these buffer queues. And let's see that, like, they want to, if you're using, there's nothing wrong with using buffer, but if you look, here's another one, buffer. So this person set up their social media account and they're just using buffer, and buffer's making these recommendations on what to share. Look, this guy's constantly sharing from buffer. See, now you'll see on these other mentions, there's major accounts and they use buffer as one of their many things. Oh, look, here's another one, sharing the same article. Guess what? I have 500 of these for me, for friends, for clients, just because I want to get them a little more Twitter exposure in the category that we want. So here's this one, Jens. Who's Jens? I don't know who Jens is. Cupertino, Stratton Consulting, founder of Stratton Consulting, an SAP partner edge company specializing in the design of SAP add-on products. How likely do you think this is a fake profile? It's not. It's an IT person. That's fine. And the fact they have 21 followers, I'm not worried about that. We have a mutual friend. Let's take a look at his site just for fun. Who is this guy? He follows Brian Eisenberg. So he cares about Brian Eisenberg. He believes that Brian Eisenberg and Brian's blog and whatever are reasonable, or he cares about travel or whatever the category is. And this looks like a legit site. It's an IT site, KPI analyzer, SAP HANA migration. Wow, okay. Looks legit to me. So I'm building my reputation in all these areas, and these happen to be ones that are tagging me, but a lot of them, these posts that we submitted, are tagging that other person that we want to see. So if someone else, oh, look, this guy here is tagging me. What's this? Geo. Wow, this guy's got 2,000 followers. Not to say that followers is the main thing. Let's see, who is this guy, Geo? Travel wise today. Oh, okay, so it's a travel thing. So I guess I'm now starting to semi-trend in travel. And let's look at his posts to see if they're legit. Do they look legit? He's got low engagement, but it looks reasonably good. There's a buffer link. So he's using these buffer suggestions or using buffer to queue up a whole bunch of things that he wants to put out there. Here's another buffer one. There's an ad. This guy apparently likes to talk about travel in these different ways. That makes sense. The only issue I'd have with this guy sharing our content, which I have no control over who shares it, is that he doesn't seem to have any engagement. So I'd rather have someone who has 10 followers but high engagement than 2,000 but is not engaging. Let's see what else we have. Look, this person, Emma and Migration. Who is this? Worldwide Network of Immigration and Visas. This, I mean, okay, who is this guy? Let's see. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, this one here is another one. Wanderlust Addiction. It's another travel one, is it? Let's see, who is this? Traveling. It leaves you. So apparently we must have posted this in the travel category. So they're sharing some stuff here. This looks organic because it's not a buffered link. It's a direct link. Direct. This must be the person behind it. Let's see. Looks like it. Okay. And so these people are sharing. So we have, let's see if I can go a little further. Why is it just showing this one here? It just really wants to show this one, doesn't it? For some reason. Who knows? Look at these people sharing this. These are real accounts. So just to test whether you understand what we're doing here so far, who can explain to me, how am I showing up on all, how are all these other people, look at all these people that are tweeting this thing that I just submitted a couple days ago. This article was 4 years ago. Oh, this guy's an SEO expert, he says. SEO experts and a promoter, Isaiah. Okay. How is it that all these people are retweeting, or not retweeting, they're sharing my post? The tech trip, that looks decent. How is this happening? Mark Almond, who the heck is Mark Almond? Mark Almond has shared, this is a tweet. He has tweeted, Mark Almond from his account, not my account. I didn't write the words. Dennis Yu on traveling 4.5 million miles via, Dennis Yu and Brian Eisenberg. So Brian Eisenberg is probably starting to notice, wow, I had Dennis on my show. And now, because Dennis must be a big deal, there's a bunch of people that are coming to our episode talking about travel. So he's looking in his analytics. He's like, wow, Dennis is a great guest to have because he gets a lot of social engagement and he drives a lot of people to my website, which is really great. So we should have Dennis on the show again, right? And I feel really good about that. What's this one here? Constant Traveler. Okay. And then there's a buffer link. All right. So who can explain what is going on here? Well, here's another one. Who is this person? Traveling the world on powerless Indian passport. Founder at Visa Traveler. Ooh, I think this looks legit. Visa Traveler. Does this guy have any SEO power? Because then I can reach out to him and I could say, thank you for sharing. Oh yeah, this is legit. Look, it's a DR23. Wow, this is cool. I'll follow him. And then I'll take the thing that he shared and I'll retweet it. And then I'll say, hey, I got to spell their name right. THIRUMAL. We are both global travelers. Love to share. Okay. All right. So now I built a connection. Now it could have been his VA was the one who shared it, or maybe he shared it, or maybe when he went into Buffer, he had a whole list of these things according to travel, and he just went click, 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 and mine was one of the ones in the group. But either way, that's pretty cool. So we're surfing someone else's reputation and whatnot. Oh, here's another one. 3 Facebook ad targeting principles for B2C. This is a buffer. This is the one I just showed you. Or this is from the tool I was showing you. This one is probably from that. I can't tell. Let's see what else. All right. But you can see the level of engagement here. So I can take any article I've ever had and put it in here for it to be seen by other people. And I just happen to have lots of sites. Look, I've got articles on LinkedIn, on SEMrush. I love SEMrush. Oh, Influencive here. Forbes. Let's look at these ones. I got 2 here on Influencive. Why you must prepare for the best and hope for the worst. Oh, this is one I did for my buddy Mark Lack. What a staggering 500 interviews taught Mark Lack about success. Oh, did this thing die? Oh, we got to keep it going. I got to keep promoting it. Let's see. It's a blog post, entrepreneur and startup stories. Yep, my article. So I want it to be seen in queue. I own the article, my article, next. And then it's going to start promoting it. There it is. The cost would be like $70 or whatever, but it's 0 because Daniel's my friend. And there it is. There it is. Now it's in the queue. So in a day or two, it'll go through review and then it, gets in there. And, you could pay to have stuff on Forbes. Don't do that, by the way. Don't be a contributor on Forbes or one of those. Don't be one of those fake ones. Oh, really? I got one that was denied. Well, that's a shame. Oh, why? Because it was promotional? Why did this one get denied? Oh, 404. That's why. Well, shoot. Did we put in the wrong URL or did it die? 20-year-old heart surgery survivor found his passion. Oh, okay. I just got to resubmit it then. Let's see what happened to it. Let's see if I can find it. Forbes 20-year-old heart surgery. Oh, it's my buddy Daniel Wallach. Daniel Wallach's all over This one. Oh, because the URL changed. Here it is. This one. I just got to resubmit it. Here it is. See, Forbes. All right. I'm not going to do that right now, but you get the idea. I just showed you how to submit these things. Where are we? Over here. I got too many tabs open. Hang on a sec. Let me close some of these tabs. So while you're thinking about what's going on here, consider where, by the way, you figured out. Oh, I'm going to mute you. Or guys, if you want to say something, unmute. Meanwhile, I want to show you guys some stuff. Okay, close some of these. Did I close the tab? I think I did. Go back in here again. I think you could actually pay. Let me see what happens if you actually try to pay directly through Q Promote. What is this on pricing? How much is it? What do they charge on this thing? Okay, $75 a month, as many sites as you want, but you get 10 posts. That's actually not a bad deal. 150, 20 posts a month, $750 for 100 posts. So that works out to basically $7 to $10 a post. Oh, that's not bad. And then $20 if you want to make it go faster. Okay, what is this one? I think you get limited. Why does it say you have as many sites as you want? That's weird. I thought you only get 4 sites. Oh, I don't know. Whatever. They changed the thing. So I have an unlimited account pretty much. So if any of you guys have something you would like to share, then we can share it and tag you or tag someone else in it. Ideally, it's featuring you in a good way. And not, by the way, the rules are it can't be promotional, it can't be sales, it can't be news. It has to be something that looks like it could be evergreen content through Buffer, right? That's something people would share because it's useful, not because you want an award. Well, actually that might work, but it can't be anything that looks like a landing page or a promo. It has to go to like a real article. So if you want to write a guest article and put it on Dennis U or on Blitz Metrics, we can do that, like this one here, right? Or on here, look, Blitz Metrics, DR73. Look at this SEO power. So the trifecta is you have a blog post, a guest blog post that we put on Blitz Metrics. So it gives you social media exposure. It helps you on your SEO because it's a domain rank 63. So it'll help you rank on the keyword that you want. And we submit it through this Q Promote so that all these other people on Twitter and LinkedIn and Facebook are going to start to see it. And we start to see these tons of shares, right? So we can see these ones that are here, and these are pretty awesome. So usually if you do a podcast, if you do some kind of webinar, if you teach on a topic and you turn it into an article, then that is a great thing to share. Like this one with Tommy Mello, I want to share the heck out of this one. This one that I just kicked this one off a few days ago. So it's got another 330 days to go. And it's already gotten 1,600 clicks. Wow. Well, it's probably because it has an image. These other ones no image, so probably not doing as well. This one's pretty awesome. Client Boost. Client Boost is one of the top agencies out there for Google Ads. I was episode number 1, so I think that was a real honor. And it's got 1,700 clicks. So all the people that follow Client Boost for PPC and SEO and that kind of thing, well, I guess we put it under social media marketing, which is maybe the right category, maybe not. I guess we're talking about Facebook ads, so okay, fine. Put it under social media. It's already gotten all these clicks. So people are coming into this particular post and they're learning about Facebook ads, right? Here it is. They're clicking on this thing. Let's see, what is...
On this episode, we talk about Facebook ads and how the $1-a-day strategy, the Facebook Power 5, the 3x3 grid, and the Client Boost, Blitz Metrics, and Bell Curve Facebook Blueprint can all be used to your advantage. And lastly, we wrap up with what you should actually do with your creative.
Ever wonder why some companies...
That's pretty cool. Look, domain rank 75. Holy moly. So are you guys thinking, have you already in your mind kind of decided if you could wave the magic wand, what you would like to have in terms of dominating the world of PR and social? What would you like to be known for? Like my friend Mary Henderson, she teaches consultants and she's got a framework on how to do this. So we took her article and we put it out. In fact, what she would do, this is a great example of cross-posting. So I'll show you, because she's really big on LinkedIn. And I think we'll have her as one of our teachers for one of these episodes. Oh, look, see, AJ's commenting on my stuff. But let's see, Mary Henderson. Here's Mary Henderson. She's got her trademark magenta, which guys who use that color would call it magenta. Look at that, 1,000 mutual connections. It's crazy. Now let's go look at her content. So this is what Mary's, look, 80,000 followers. So she posts stuff, it takes off. Look, let's look at her posts. I'm jealous of her engagement on social media. All right, 22 hours ago, not bad, right? But more importantly, it drives leads and sales. to her programs, right? Look, not bad. She's got a monthly magazine, but she publishes it on LinkedIn. See, here it is, Authority Magazine. It's out now. She's honoring these people who are authoritative, and all these people are subscribing to it. It's free, right? So she's able to drive her brand. She drives all her brand on LinkedIn. But I can tell you, any one of these posts like this, wow, this is okay. 1,100 views, not a lot, but wow, 136 plus 78, really high engagement, small audience, relatively. Let's find one that's maybe 1 in 10. 1 in 10 will just kill it. This is doing pretty well. How to build a tribe in 7 pages. Okay, cool. So we can see that here's this URL on how to build a tribe. And if we try to look for it in Google, or we look for it anywhere outside of LinkedIn, it won't show up. Is this it? Is this her? It's got her pink. Is this it? It's on Facebook. Interesting that the Facebook video is showing up here. Oh, it is. She is showing up here. What do you know? Oh, it's because we cross-posted it. That's why it wasn't there before. Full disclosure, she's been a client for a couple of years. So we coach a lot of people who coach coaches, which I think is weird. I get dizzy just thinking about that. Right. So her content isn't going to otherwise show up outside of LinkedIn, because Facebook's not going to want to show LinkedIn and Google's not going to want to show that. So what we do is we take that content and we turn it into a blog post and then submit that through these different tools like QPromote so that it can be seen here, right? So any kind of content you've ever created, you got a YouTube video, you got a mention in Forbes, you have a link, like whatever your thing that's working, maybe LinkedIn's working for you, like Mary is. We want to take that and then run it through here so then it gets all the great social media love. Like this one's awesome. This home services expert one, let's see what's going on with this one. Using the why story to get your customers. So we've gotten these clicks and shares. Let's go look at the post itself. So we're sending people to his site. It doesn't have to be our site, it can be anyone's site. So look, we're sending it to Tommy Mello's site, because that's where he's got a huge army of people that are home service business owners, because he's a home services millionaire, #1 home services business. And here we've got the show notes and we have the video and all this. Oh, me and Mark are in this one. Look, see?
Welcome to the Home Service Expert, where each week Tommy chats with world-class entrepreneurs and experts in various fields like marketing, sales, hiring, and leadership to find out what's really behind their success in business. Now, your host, the Home Service Millionaire, Tommy Mello.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Home Service Expert. Today's going to be angle is scaling your home service business with effective systems. And I'm here with Dennis, you, and Mark.
So you can see that. And now let's see if we can find that in another, if we find it cross-posted. So let's see, Tommy Mello and his posts. Oh, look, there's our thing, 1 hour and 10, and some other stuff we have, right? And this is not bad, because here on social, it's got a couple thousand views. On the web, it's got some views. On the podcast, it got some views, right? So here it is again, right?
Entrepreneurs and experts in various fields like marketing, sales, hiring, and leadership to find out what's really behind their success in business.
They have plenty of reviews on Google and Yelp. Does their website load quickly? Do you have things like maybe Google Amp? Do you have a remarketing tag on Google and Facebook?
All right. So you guys see the picture of what's going on here? We had some piece of content in one place. We then, like a long form video, cut it into different pieces, posted on Facebook, turned it into a blog post, reshared it on Twitter. It's showing up in different social medias. It's on LinkedIn. And then as just an extra boost, we put it in the tool to get a little bit more power. Then you might think, well, why are we distributing it across all the different podcasting platforms and YouTube and social when we can just come here where we're already going to get distribution on Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook? I mean, this is already generating a lot of traffic. See, a lot of people, they do their podcast and they get no traffic. And that's really sad, isn't it? That's the dirty little secret. That's the turd in the punch bowl. All these people launching their podcasts. Hey, you should launch a podcast because everyone's launching a podcast. It's the thing to do. Gary Vaynerchuk said you should do a podcast. Okay, great. And let's say you do a great job. Let's say you have great guests. You have great content. You really chose a great niche. You want to impact the world and help millions of people. And nobody listens to your podcast. Nobody sees your thing on Twitter. Nobody watches it on YouTube. Nobody sees it on Apple iTunes. Nobody sees it on Spotify. Well, it doesn't matter. What's the sound of one podcast falling in the forest, right? So you want to have the exposure, and this is something that will seem counterintuitive, but when you're getting something that's doing well, then it's resonating because people are engaging on it, which then the algorithms from Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, whatever, then it starts to share more. Then when you use this strategy, this throws more fuel on the fire, right? So then I might look at this and say, well, just on my site, I've got these various ones like, oh, this is like, what's resonating? Well, here's this thing about entrepreneurship. Don't work too hard. Well, people like that because the rest of it's hustle. I'm doing something the exact opposite of what everyone expects. Oh, gratitude, honoring your team, or, you know, why you need to double your prices. So I'm looking at these different things and it's giving me feedback on, I might think I know what is good, right? But I'm letting the data tell me which of these things is good. And I can see right off that, at least in terms of what people know me for, they really want to know something about Facebook ads. And whenever I post something about friends or family or about, you know, health or these, they just don't seem to do as well. I mean, maybe it doesn't mean I'm not, that those aren't important topics, but in just terms of like where my audience resonates, clearly I can see what's going on here, right? Look at this thing here. I got attacked yesterday in my clubhouse room. Our culture's shifting. Wow, it's got 2,000 shares. That's pretty awesome. This one, oh, well, this one, 3 steps to help you, Dr. Tina, client. So we shared a client and then it's got a whole bunch of shares. I bet you it drove some business for her, don't you think? Dr. Dave Toohill. So, you know, it just shows you, because some things you think are going to be awesome and then they're just not awesome. And some things you're like, ah, you know, whatever, they absolutely kill it. So we can see other things here. And these are articles that I had submitted, but I think they expired a year ago because I have to keep renewing it. So I just, look at this one. I charged $2,000 for a $100,000 project, yet the client was pissed. This was my most popular article on LinkedIn. And there it is. Oh, you know what? Because I didn't choose a category. What category is this? Advertising industry. Yeah, sure. And I'll put this in here and I wrote it. Yep, I want it. I wrote it. Me, and done. There it is. Now I'm going to get another, I don't know, 5,000, 10,000 shares on this thing. Cost me nothing. Why wouldn't you do it? I would just have a VA do this. We're trying to hire a VA to do this. You know, I'll show you how we're doing extensions on stuff. All right, LinkedIn. There it is. I send emails to myself to track my best content just because I wanted to, and I've used Boomerang to remind myself to come back to it like every 90 days or every year. I want to revive my greatest hits. So look at this. This is 3 years ago. I charged $2,000 for a $100,000 project, yet the client was pissed. This is called Broetry. It's one line at a time. I tell a story and it got 8,000 likes. Somebody click like on it. So it actually goes from 7,999 to 8,000. And this post got 2 million views. In fact, this post became so popular that they featured me. They invited me to San Francisco to be on TV to talk about this thing. And Reuters, I can't even spell. I represented California in the National Spelling Bee in 1988, Washington, D.C. All right, here it is, Reuters. And let's see what's going on. And they got it on Twitter. They have it all these other places. Look at this. Reuters is a major news outlet. Like all the major media folks go to Reuters, right? You know Reuters, who this is. I think they run an ad in the beginning, just like all these other ones. Let's see. Why is this not showing up? Is my Wi-Fi slow? It's 2 minutes. Here's the editor's pick. Play. Come on, play for me. Let me try refreshing this. Play my video. Here we go. Ad. Dumb ad. Okay. Let's see if I can unmute this.
Compared to Snapchat, Instagram, or Facebook, LinkedIn can feel like an office holiday party without any alcohol. So if anything was going to go viral on the platform, it was bound to be something like this.
You see that one?
The unwritten rule when it...
Josh Fector. How did Josh Fector get featured on this thing here? I told him about it. I said, hey, dude, I'm going to put you on Reuters. Look, Broetry filming at the Reuters office. Hey, she said, okay, we're going to film. And here it is. Come to the office. We're going to do this whole thing. And I'm going to show you some Broetry. And then I decide I want to mention somebody because they have these other people that work for Reuters to arrange the media interview. And I'll say, by the way, my friend Josh Fector is the one who coined the term Broetry. So they took all, here it is, 11 million views on some of his stuff. Some of it's mine, right? This one's 2 million. This is like all these other ones. And there it is. Okay. And then scripting it now. They want to make me look good, right? So Reuters wants to make me look good. So then this is what they do. They put this thing together. Look at this. Watch. So they put Josh in here.
Salary is this. Whoever proposes a number first loses. I've heard this so many times. It's a limiting mindset. These sentences read like general musings on the workplace, but taken together, they're an emerging storytelling form known as Broetry. The name and the content is a fusion of bro as in the bro culture that can dominate a work environment with poetry. It's not Robert Frost, but it's lighting up on LinkedIn. Some say the Walt Whitman of Broetry might be Josh Fector. He's the co-founder of a company called BAMF for Badass Marketers and Founders. And this poem or proem he posted to LinkedIn racked up 12 million clicks.
I did some
My
PR for him,
first
huh?
employee
What's that
is
worth?
an immigrant. He got rejected by Facebook, Snapchat, and Google. Some of the stuff is a bit self-congratulatory, but it stands out amid the job anniversaries resume update that make up most LinkedIn content. So what does LinkedIn say about this trend? Reuters tech correspondent Salvador Rodriguez spoke to them.
LinkedIn doesn't comment on the broetry.
They don't
term.
like that
I'm
word,
not sure that
okay?
they want to associate themselves with that, but they have said that since overhauling their feed 2 years ago, they started to see record levels of engagement. This past year, they saw 60% year-over-year increase in the amount of content that users have upload that is then viewed on the feed, such as broetry.
Oh, not supposed to use the word.
27-year-old Logan Young, co-founder of marketing software firm Blitzmetrics, and CTO Dennis Yu say the viral posts often share episodes of failures, have punchy 1 or 2 line sentences, and no photos, videos, or links.
I charged $2,000 for a $100,000 project, yet the client was pissed. He wanted Facebook ads, but didn't have any landing pages, videos, tracking, or even a strategy.
Not exactly Shakespearean prose or rhyme, but it got Dennis 2 million clicks, and he says it brought him new business as well.
All right. So that thing did pretty well.
7 Wonders is much more creative.
And then we want to put it out there in all these other channels. So then the idea of amplification, the social amplification engine, which if you don't have, you should definitely go through, which is a component of what we teach here. Everything you're learning here in this program is taking something that's a seed that's working decently well and trying to get more out of it, right? So I wrote that post on LinkedIn. It did well, got me on TV. Then I wrote a blog post talking about it too. Where's my blog post? Here it is. No, it's not this one. Well, anyway, I did have a blog post on it that you saw. And then I put it here in Q Promote, and I use social media as a way to get more out of something that I already had, because the world of search is independent from the world of social. So something can take off in a social media channel and you won't see it anywhere in the world of search. So I'm trying to cross those two, right? And this is one way that we do this, because here we're getting a bunch of promo off of social channels that then drive people to the websites. So these clicks, where's the one that was, I had it here somewhere. I got so many things open, I can't remember where it was. But you can see, right? I'm getting tons more traffic to my posts using social. So it's not that, what I don't want you to think from today's time is that, oh, this is a tool just so that I can get more people to retweet it. And you can see the stats where it comes on Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook, but mainly Twitter. Yes, it does that. And yes, it does it in a way that doesn't look like advertising. Yes, it does it through real accounts, right? But what I really want you guys to see is that any piece of content, we can try to get more out of what's already there. But the key is you have to have that piece of content. You have to know the topic. You have to know who it is you want to influence, just like anyone who does PR or SEO or influencing or social media. Like who is it that I am trying to share, trying to reach, trying to hit them with a particular angle, and then give that to me, and I will help you through our team of VAs, not me personally, but we will post it in this tool as a special thing for people who are members of office hours. You don't have to pay for this account. You just have to give us the content, make sure it follows the guidelines so it doesn't get rejected. Because look, got a whole bunch of these ones that got rejected, right? They get rejected for they're not long enough, or they actually give us see, like they tell us why we got rejected. See, so they're just like, hey, just fix it and then resubmit it for you. That's the benefit of things like office hours, right? Isn't that awesome? Anyway. Yeah. That's what I wanted to share today. I thought this is super amazing. I've gotten hundreds of thousands of shares and hundreds of thousands, if not millions of clicks from this in the last few years. And you guys are the first to have ever seen this.
Hey, Dennis, question. The requirements for this particular site?
Yeah.
Can you share that or show that again?
Yep.
Okay.
So for Q Promote, it runs through buffer queues so that people can share on Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn or whatever. So it has to be shared. What we're sharing has to be an article, meaning it has to be a web page. It cannot be a landing page. It cannot be an ad. It cannot be something that sells a promotional. It cannot be news. It has to be something that's evergreen, that in a year from now can still stand the test of time. Then it has to be written about you or written by you. It has to be at least several hundred words. I don't remember the exact number, but I like to have 200, 300 words. So if it's just a picture, that's just not going to fly because they're going to say it doesn't meet editorial. It can't be spammy in terms of having a lot of hashtags in it. it has to be like a real blog post where you're teaching how to do something, telling a particular kind of story. So if you get that story, and even if your site doesn't have much power, you can still run it through as a guest blog post on one of our sites. You could certainly put it on your site, but when you have a site that
Come cook the vegetables. The vegetables.
Hey, Alicia, I think
Pedro, come on. And your dad said, don't take the kids. So
Alicia, we hear your microphone.
yeah, just as a general rule, if you're not speaking, you want to be on mute. Feel free to unmute if you want to share something, but just for because the more people we have, then the bigger of a risk it is if someone, right? I mean, I know it's unintentional. Sorry, I lost my train of thought because of that. But you want to have, if you have a site, and Jeremy Duchesne, who's here, he can tell you this is true too. But the stronger the SEO power is of a site, the more traffic that site has, right? The more trust that site has, the better it's going to do when it gets social sharing. Because the search engines and the social networks definitely apply a trust signal to any of those sites. So things that are that are shared from CNN are going to do better than from somebody's new blog they just came up with yesterday. Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. It's so weird because ironically, I just got, I had someone write an article for me for one of my blogs on Tuscan home decor because I hadn't written in a long time. And I said, I don't really have a lot of time to do that, but I want to freshen up my blog because I've had it since 2007. And at one point it was doing really well. We like some of our articles, like we were beating out HGTV back in like the 08, 09, like around that time. And now it's like, we're like on the second page of Google. So I want to do that. Do you think, I have a feeling it could work for this too, but what do you think about that? Like this article is talking about, going Tuscan after in 2021, that sort of thing.
Yeah, that could help a little bit, but really if other sites are getting more and more powerful and you're staying where you are, you're going to be left behind. So with sites, you have to constantly be generating links, which is called link velocity. So if you're not constantly generating links, so maybe your site was powerful, 2007 or whatever it was, but if you don't keep it going, eventually it's just going to fall off. So things like this, generating traffic through Q Promote will help you, but that's only one piece. You need to get your whole strategy together. Yeah.
Thanks. Got it.
Awesome, guys. Any quick thoughts? What do you think? Is this cool? Seen anything like this before?
Can I put a plug in on what you just said, Dennis, about the strategy? I just want to share with the community that I find it very, very, what is the word? Gosh, I'm lost for word. But I find that what I did personally is I went VIP because a lot of what Dennis is sharing with and I do have my undergrad is in computer science, so I'm a closet geek, but I'm the closet geek that don't want to do it. And so I decided, you know what? I want somebody else to do it for me. And guess who I got to do it for me? Dennis Yu and his team. So I just want to put a plug out there to let you guys know Dennis is showing us a lot of stuff, but he's showing it not in a way of saying, hey, come let me do it. I'm saying it to you guys, let him do it because they're the experts. And I'm happy that I made that decision. So thanks. I know I didn't ask you, Dennis, for that. I just wanted to put it out there.
Thank you.
So, it's always easy to ask for forgiveness than it is for permission. So please forgive me if I offended anyone. Yay.
Hi, everyone. It's first time I'm attending and I've been on email with Dennis. Dennis, I've tried the tools. I've been using some of those tools for 5 years. I'm very narrow, as you know, in my industry. And my big challenge being in fintech and a subsegment of fintech is actually, whilst I use Buffer, Q didn't work for me. And maybe it's time for me to relearn.
Well, why didn't it work? What happened with the traffic? And what were you measuring? What was your goal?
So it was just followership. And I think the pricing model has changed a lot. I had to pay much more. I had to pay thousands for it. And I had to make sure that I uploaded content all the time, which, I produce a lot of content if you've seen my content, but I could not actually fulfill the need of Q at the time.
That is tough. And they have changed a lot over the last few years. So with Q, the goal is not followers. So if you're trying to get to 100,000 followers or something like that, you'll get more just because if your content is good, people will follow you, right? If your followers aren't growing, then there's a disconnect between the content that you're promoting and the audience you're trying to reach. And it could be that in audiences like fintech or B2B, people are less likely to want to follow you. So when I look at Q Promote, the reason I use it and the value, the goal I have is making the right connections and having the right conversations. And the same is true on LinkedIn, right? So on LinkedIn, I'm at 30,000 followers and people say, wow, Dennis is at 30,000 followers. That is an accidental fact of the fact that I've been connecting with the right people. Those people share. And because of the sharing, other people follow me because they see that their friends are engaging with me. So this guy, Dennis, says interesting things. I think I want to follow him, right? So don't worry about followers. Don't worry about a blue check mark on Twitter. Don't worry about how many, you know,
I need to ask you this question. I'll tell you one story which just happened to me.
Yeah.
I did a big event for a massive company 2 weeks ago with a good friend of mine. And I'm doing the organic Twitter thing. And my friend doubled. So he was below me 2 weeks ago. He doubled his followership in 2 weeks. And it was approved and verified by Twitter in 2 weeks, which is great. However, I had a 50-50, but I don't do the dodgy thing, I would say.
Don't do that.
I didn't move from my 20,000 to 40,000 in 2 weeks. I didn't do
matter.
And
waste of time.
I'm just thinking,
conversation. This is a waste of time. Do not worry about followers. Do not worry about the check mark. Because if you're a business person, if you're an entrepreneur, you care about impact. It's not about how big you look. It's about, all it takes is one conversation, one tweet, that one connection, that one right connection is all that really matters, right? If I had to choose between getting another 100,000 followers versus having another, just one, Dr. Kim Grimes, I would choose Kim Grimes every day of the week. We always want to go for quality. Do not worry about all this other stuff. And then you said something about, and I don't mean to, you know, spot.
But it's more and more for me. It was more about my client.
Look, you don't have.
That's more like my client. That's all.
Do not have to produce a ton of content. One hit, right? So Axl Rose, right? Guns N' Roses, Sweet Child of Mine, Paradise City, Welcome to the Jungle. One song can generate a lifetime of revenue. One hit, right? So the key is a good piece of content. You saw that my hit was from years ago, that one thing on LinkedIn. And look, I got media attention. I got millions of people to see my content. So what would you rather do? Put out 1,000 posts on LinkedIn, 1,000 blog posts and on WordPress or whatever, or that one post that I made on Broetry on LinkedIn? What do you think carries more power? I'm trying to teach you guys.
The one post.
Focus, amplifying the thing that's working well so you can get more out of that. And if you don't have a hit, then you're going to test and learn and find things that are working well. And then we're going to amplify that through all the techniques that we teach here in this group. And like Dr. Kim said, all the stuff is here in this group. We're teaching it here. That's what the membership is. If you want it done for you, our team can do that too, but that's another package, right? That's VIP.
I just got an idea.
Yeah.
Remember how I was saying before, how 3 days after my son passed away, I actually wrote how I felt and the story and how everything. I have that document still. I should put that into an article. I made it a document because I wanted to share it and I never did. And I should share it because it was 3 days after and it's fresh. I never changed anything. It needs to be an article.
100%.
Yes. Okay. Great.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I want to read it.
Yes.
I just got chills. It's definite. This is it. That's the article that I need to.
We all got chills.
Dennis, I wanted to say something about Twitter and to Sabine, since she's really particular about Twitter and growth. First of all, you're absolutely right, Dennis. Quality over quantity. In fact, one of the things I found out that really helped me grow, especially on Twitter, was that I connected with real people, right? You want to connect with real people. And then Twitter is a place where people want to connect with people. And that's why you find out that whenever an official account is tweeting like a normal person, people tend to really get excited. There was a time when McDonald's and a lot of the verified accounts had more like a PR thing like that a few months ago. It generated a whole lot of interest, right? Because when people on Twitter want to see, because of course Twitter has a feel on its own. So people on Twitter want to feel like they're talking to somebody real, right? They don't want to feel like they're talking to a faceless company or something. It's always better, or the engagement is always greater when they feel your personality in your conversation. So Sabine, if you're really concerned about Twitter growth, there are a couple of things that I would share with you for free. Don't worry.
Let's do this one later, right? That's a whole other topic, Bruno.
Yes.
Let's do that properly in another session.
All right, no problem.
Yep.
No problem. Thank you. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, Bruno's
All
awesome
right.
on Twitter. So I am 6 minutes late to another meeting on the other side of town. I love you guys.
Dennis.
Yeah. And I'm here for you. So definitely engage in the group. Definitely engage with everyone else here. Take advantage of these tools. Today, we talked about Q Promote and how we can use the Twitter algorithm through Buffer to be able to get more engagement. But more importantly, having the right strategy instead of trying to go for just more engagement.